Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 5th of January. Get my days mixed up there a little. Seems odd coming back midweek, so hope you all had a great festive season. Happy New Year to you. Let's get on and look at these markets. Firstly, let's look at the risk events coming through this morning. And well, there's nothing this morning, but this afternoon we got the ADP non-farms at 115. Building permits, goodness knows why they're on there. They have hardly any effect whatsoever. The FOMC minutes may get some volatility from that, but it's a difficult old one with too much reading for most, and the algos will have it before we will have it, and everything's known anyway, allegedly. So unlikely to be any surprises there. Anyway, moving on, really at the end of the week is the most important of the non-farms there, and they'll be looking for more improvements on these numbers. So that's what to look for this week. So let's have a look at the currencies first. Starting off looking at the euro dollar. And last few days it's been merrily just chopping away, running into its daily 50 there, selling off from that, and then a bit of a rally yesterday, and then well, couldn't hold on to the gains there. If we look at the shorter time frames, we'll just come down the shorter time frames here, running into its 4 hourly 21 yesterday, hourly 200 I think it was yesterday. There you go, hourly 200, running into that at the moment. It's just looking a bit bitty at the moment. Looking at the upper time frames here, it's well, coming back to daily actually, it's just been sitting in this range. It's whether or not it can find some support off the monthly pivot, or it starts breaking down, then I start getting a bit bearish, back to those prior lows, maybe a little bit further in the short term. It could have more downside yet to be played out. I was looking yesterday at the yields are starting to push up, US yields, bond yields. I'll have a look at those in a moment, but at the moment as I say, it's a question of whether it can find some support where it's sitting of this monthly pivot at the moment, or whether it's going to come back, test that and roll over. Very iffy market there. Pound, much more strength in general. We've seen in the pound yesterday, good solid day. It's much clearer in terms of where it's going. There is a bit of divergence probably over the MACD here. Yep, a bit of divergence over the highs there, but really the higher lows coming through on the shorter time frame. Over back here, it has looked quite strong until I look at this time frame here, come down to 60 minutes. It looks a bit iffy. Daily pivot sits below there. As I say, it's got that 4 hourly divergence. A bit of a question as to where it gets to this morning. I was looking at this, it was looking even more iffy a moment ago, so it's turned round a little bit in the short term. Continuation of where we are is possible. If it can push up through back into yesterday's highs, maybe. R1's quite a way above. It had quite a rangy day yesterday relatively. The R1 could be a target there, but just looking bitty and running. It looks like it's running out of steam in the short term. Dolly Yen. Dolly Yen's been just softening against the US dollar here, so the US dollar much stronger. Again, consolidation on the as we come down the time frames a little bit, but maybe a break of the trend that sits across the high there would be a potential buy on it for the US dollar against the yen here. So just really watching that. There's the potential, not massive movement, actually a lot better than we've seen some of the days pre-Christmas, and New Year. Finishing off last year, it was quite dull. At the moment it's looking like it's got some more points in these markets, so starting off realigning. Aussie dollar, daily wise, well, again, we had been pushing up the last few days, running into this year, gradually pushing up. We saw that sell-off, reasonable solid day yesterday. Again, commodities didn't do too bad at yesterday, commodity currencies, and it's looking Solid old push up there yesterday afternoon. At the moment it looks, in all of this mess, it looks like, well, perhaps it could break and push up and make another near-term high here. That 4-hourly 500 looks like it's beckoning at the moment. Now, if I come down the time frame, is that going to look any different? No, that's fine. R1 above there as well, daily R1. It's bounced off the daily pivot here. Again, actually with this, I'm just sort of going to draw it on. It's easier. But there's a trend line running across there. Maybe a break above that would look more bullish to the upside, and bigger movement may come from it. It's been overall on the dailies here last couple of weeks, it's been pushing up. It looks like it's got a bit more upside potential. Canadian dollar, it too has been strengthening against the US dollar. Remember, this is US dollar CAD, and the US dollar softening against the CAD here. Bit of a mixed day yesterday. It was looking quite strong at one stage, and then well, it bounced back through the Asian session here. It was looking again, it's got a similarish picture, an inverted picture to the what we're seeing with the yen there, but it's already, I'm just looking, it's already broken the original trend there. We'd be putting it on the current bar here, but maybe a break below these prior lows around about 26.94 would be a safer point. But just see how that shapes up this morning. But it does look like it's got more downside potential sitting there, particularly on the bigger time frame here. Okay, that's pretty much it there. Just look at gold then. So gold, daily wise, we've got okay, so it's bounced daily wise off that 200 again. It's been using that 200 as a bit of a support area. It's quite a key area. It has broken. I've got this range that I had on there of highs and lows, which seem to have been stalling it into late last year. It's, well, it had done pretty well and closed above it, but it's chopping, but it's making its way up slowly. And if you come down the time frames, you see these higher lows and higher highs coming through there. Just as I say, very slow. It is pushing up a little bit better than it had been. Coming down to the hourlies, and you just think, how the hell can I get in this? And it is really more of a swing trade than a day trade at the best of times, but certainly at the moment, a break back above 18.17 area would see a more, expect more bullishness from that. But it has got its daily pivot at the moment below, which could just be drawing it down. A draw back to that sort of level, support around the area with the moving averages. Could be potentially strong now, but the only thing is, I'm just looking, it's a bearish signals, real mixed signals here. We've got the 50 crossing the 200, death cross as they call it, sitting there on the hourly there, but as I say, a bounce off that area. They're very delayed, those sort of signals, I should add. A bounce off that area may see it continue the original route there. Okay, well, I would expect more volume to come into the market from today anyway, just on these markets as well as we push through the week. Oil, OPEC continuing to pump and go as normal, and it didn't really have a bad situation with oil at all yesterday. Ended up on a bullish movement there, a little bit of divergence maybe on the RSI here, just a tad of divergence, but at the moment it's still looking like it's got a bit more upside. On a weekly basis, it's just tapping out those prior highs. The safest and more conservative point of entering would be on the break of that weekly R1. Short term, it's very messy, quite choppy here at this stage, but again, trend lines drawn across the highs there may give an alternative, more aggressive entry, but otherwise break of the prior highs there, and it could have some more legs in that. Okay, so oil, let's move over and look at the have a currencies. Let's start off looking at the Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin struggling away overall over the last few weeks here. It's got this sort of sound bottom there at about 45,800, somewhere in that region. At the moment, to me, it still looks quite bearish. It needs to at least break this trend before it looks anything more bullish. Other markets are really following suit. The Ethereum, let's just get rid of that. That's it. Ethereum really following suit. Bear flag effectively in the picture at the moment, but again, a break of the trend that sort of sits across these more recent highs could be see a bit more of a turn, but none of them. Ripple again, same sort of as Bitcoin, a bit weaker here. Again, my picture is really looking at Ethereum as the strongest. If they start moving, it may be where the money runs to easier. Looking elsewhere, Cardano, a similar picture. It's been running south for a long time. Again, consolidation. It really needs something more to get these markets moving. But at this stage, they look all of the cryptos look relatively bearish. Now, that's not what everyone wants to hear, but that's how it sits. Looking at the Asian markets first here, the CSI 300 then been consolidating over the last couple of weeks. Once again looking soft. I've got the original trend line here. It's just I don't know where I was popping that onto originally, but there we go. It's using that sort of area as a bit of support at the moment. I've ignored that spike there for some reason, but anyway, that's why I set it before. Looking soft anyway, where it sits here. The Nikkei's doing better. It's at the opposite side of its sort of wedge there, but again, not managing to push and close above that properly yet, or maybe just closing on it at this stage if I extend it. But looking a little bit more positive. Of course, ever whatever their name is, the big construction company not doing too well in Asia and being closed down effectively, so not helping the situation. Looking at the FTSE though, what a start to the new year, eh? New highs, 75.20 there, pushing up yesterday solidly, coming off a little bit this morning as I'm just going through here, just coming off slightly, but it's held up better than the US side of things at the moment. It's whether or not it can find a bit of support, but certainly maybe a bit of profit taken this morning. Looking at the DAX is holding on a little bit better this morning, pushing up, continuation. I just expect more continuation in these markets in terms of what we're seeing at the moment, and there we go, the CAC as well. Now the S&Ps yesterday went off, made new highs at one stage and then pulled back in. It is slightly soft. As I said before, the big money's been coming out for some time of the S&Ps, but it's not stopping the market continuing to push up there. Nasdaq looking again a bit softer, bearish engulfing bar yesterday. Whether or not we see a continuation to the downside here, it's really what we see today. If it continues, breaks yesterday's lows, it really does put it on a bearish footing for me, and would expect potentially more downside. Dow Jones, well, Dow Jones being a bit more solid than the other markets here, holding on better yesterday, pushing up a little bit better today. So all in all, yeah, that's pretty much it there. Okay, so yep, as the equities out of the way, right, so that's it for me. I wish you a great day. I just want to come back and look at what's happening here. Yep, that's okay. I wish you a great day's trading, and I will catch you in the morning. Bye for now.